Hello and welcome to Football Tours. We are back with another episode of Football Retrospect, and today we are going to look at Manchester United's team of the past decade. This has been a pretty forgettable decade for the Red Devils, mainly because they weren't able to match the standards of their former glory of the 90s and the 2000s. The retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson, along with the poor transfer activity and managerial choices, have led the club towards a downward spiral, and now they are a shadow of their former self. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting with the goalkeeping spot, we have only one contender, and that is David De Gea. Sir Alex Ferguson's faith in De Gea paid off after his retirement, and the little success that United had since his departure can be owed to the Spaniard's brilliant match-saving performances since 2014 onwards. If Ole somehow drags United back to their former domination, then De Gea has a chance to become a club legend. Granted, he stays at the club. The goalkeeping spot belongs to De Gea without a shadow of doubt. Moving on, for the right back spot, we have two options: Rafael de Silva and Antonio Valencia. Rafael scored 5 goals in Sir Alex Ferguson's last title-winning campaign in 2013, but was massively inconsistent throughout his United career. On the other hand, Antonio Valencia has been a consistent servant for United for 10 years before leaving for Ecuador. Often shifted from the right wing to the fullback spot, he wasn't the best fullback but worked his socks off. Right back has been a United weakness for quite some time, but Valencia gets the nod because of his longevity and commitment. On the left hand side, the slot is filled by one and only Patrice Evra. The Frenchman is a United legend and scored 5 goals in Ferguson's last league-winning campaign. Luke Shaw, ever since signing from Southampton, has been a major disappointment, and Evra is the only contender left for this position, so he goes in. Now for the defensive duo. The centre-back choices should not be a surprise. Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic were a wall for United since 2006. Both are among the Premier League elites and are rightfully considered Premier League legends by many Old Trafford faithful. Ferdinand's never-ending love for United and Vidic's sheer professionalism translated to the pitch in the form of brilliant defensive displays. United reached heights that weren't deemed possible by many people and critics. Moving on to the middle of the park. For the midfield trio, the first pick is Michael Carrick. Carrick is one of the most underrated players in football history. One of those players who just cannot be hated by any football fan. Carrick's unmatched composure and brilliant game reading were the reason that kept him at United for so many years. A selfless leader, Carrick was instrumental to United's success since 2006. His Europa League performances in the post-Fergie era and the FA Cup exhibitions are good enough to grant him a place in the starting 11 for Manchester United's team of the decade. He has won every major trophy with the club and will always be deemed a club legend by the Old Trafford faithful. Carrick's partner in midfield is none other than the legendary Paul Scholes. The Ginger Prince spent all his career at United and was the rock of stability in Ferguson's tenure in the middle of the park. Scholes came back from retirement in 2011 and won 2 league titles before finally hanging up the boot for good in 2013. Scholes was never replaced in the coming years, and a major reason for United's post-Ferguson downfall is absence of players like him in the United squad and on the pitch in general. The loyalty of Scholes, along with his exquisite passing range, will be missed at United for years to come. The third pick was a tricky one, but based on the contribution to the team and consistency, Ander Herrera goes in. Ander won 4 trophies with United and was crucial in all of them. His consistency and match-winning performances in the 81-point Jose Mourinho season were noteworthy. He wasn't as brilliant or technical as Carrick or Scholes, but always worked hard and was selfless. A fan favourite at the red half of Manchester, the Spaniard surely gave it all whenever he was called on the pitch for the Red Devils. Moving on towards the attack. The first pick is Wayne Vaza Rooney, United's greatest goalscorer of all time, England's greatest goalscorer of all time, a Premier League legend. Vaza's legacy at United cannot be discounted. Rooney captained the club for 3 years and was in top goal-scoring form at the start of the decade. Vaza finished his United career with 253 goals in all competitions, and no player post-Ferguson could replicate what he did at the start of the decade. Rooney always gave it all for the Red Devils, ever since signing back in 2004, and sacrificed his striking position on the pitch countless times under Alex Ferguson. His place in the team should not be a surprise. His striking partner is Ferguson's last big money league winning move, and that is Robin van Persie. Persie won the Golden Boot in the first season for United, scoring 30 goals in Ferguson's last title winning campaign. RVP's short stay at Manchester United was a memorable one indeed. From league-winning hat-tricks to scoring winning goals against bitter rivals, Percy gave United fans a handful of memories that will all be cemented in United's long and glorious history. The final pick of the team is the Manchester born and bred Marcus Rashford. Rashford burst onto the scene at Old Trafford under Louis van Gaal and has been a consistent performer for the club ever since. Scoring goals against Arsenal and City in his debut season, Rashford has gained faith from the club supporters worldwide. A proper striker whose United career has gone from strength to strength. If it wasn't for injuries, 2019 could have been his first 30-goal season for the club. Rashford is still very young and loves United to the core. If things go well and he avoids injuries in the years to come, Rashford is sure set for a bright future at United for many glorious years. That concludes the lineup for our Manchester United's team of the decade. The team includes 9 Ferguson signings, which shows us how low the mighty have fallen. The Premier League giants have failed to sign title-winning players for the last 7 years since Ferguson has left the club. Things are finally looking good under Ole since the start of the new decade, and only time will tell if it's a false dawn for the fallen giants. For more football-related content, subscribe to Football Dose and turn the bell notification on. That's all for today's episode of Football Retrospect. And as always, we'll see you in a while.